I'm a 25-year-old man and have been in a relationship with my best friend and the love of my life, Emily, who's also 25, for the past 5 years. My parents and my 22-year-old sister have met Emily several times before and have generally been polite to her. A few days ago, my family organized a New Year's Eve gathering for friends and extended relatives. I decided that this would be the perfect time to propose to Emily, so I first asked her parents for their blessing. My parents and sister were caught off guard when they saw Emily arrive in a wheelchair at the party. 2 months earlier, she had been in a serious car accident and, as a result, is currently unable to walk. She's undergoing physical therapy in hopes of regaining her mobility. While my family knew she'd been injured, they weren't aware of the severity. I quickly introduced Emily to my aunt and cousins, who greeted her warmly. Later in the evening, I told everyone I had an announcement. I gave a short speech, then got down on one knee and asked Emily to marry me. She said yes, and the whole room erupted in cheers and applause. I felt overjoyed and spent the rest of the night in high spirits. But toward the end of the party, I found Emily quietly crying in a corner. When I asked what was wrong, she told me that my sister had approached her and tried to convince her to break up with me, saying she didn't want me marrying a woman with a disability. I was shocked and furious. I walked Emily over to my sister and told her, in no uncertain terms, that I loved Emily and she had no right to meddle in our relationship, and that I expected her to treat Emily with kindness and respect. My parents looked surprised because I'm usually calm and even-tempered. My sister began crying in front of everyone, insisting I was unfairly accusing her of being rude. I haven't spoken to her since that night. Instead, I've been celebrating my engagement with Emily's family. Today, my sister called to tell me her boyfriend, who had been at the party, broke up with her because she cried in public, and that Emily had ruined her life. I told her that Emily had nothing to do with her breakup, and that if she had behaved respectfully in the first place, none of this would have happened. My parents admit my sister's words were wrong but still think I shouldn't have confronted her in front of everyone. Am I the one in the wrong here? No, her breakup is on her, not Emily. The reality is, if my sister had kept her prejudices to herself, there would have been nothing to confront her about. My guess is her boyfriend didn't leave just because of tears, but because he realized in sickness and in health isn't something she believes in. I don't think Emily ruined anything. My sister did that herself. And frankly, my parents missed an opportunity in teaching her that going up to someone's fiancé to make such a cruel remark absolutely warrants a reaction. Who does that, ruin the night of someone's proposal and tell a person with a disability they don't deserve their partner, then shift the blame? And if my family puts even a sliver of this on me, that's a red flag for them too. For now, I'm refusing to let Emily apologize for anything, she was the one wronged. My sister can be mad, but I won't allow my fiancé to take the blame for her behavior. I'm willing to talk to my sister when she's ready, but I'm not apologizing for defending Emily. My sister still keeps in touch with our parents. Every year, they host a large Christmas celebration. I'm never invited, but my sister and her young daughter always attend. A day or two later, we have our own smaller Christmas get-together, just me, my sister, and my niece. During this year's smaller gathering, while my sister was in the other room, my niece asked why I never go to the big Christmas at my parents' house. I gave her the same excuse I'd been using for years, that I had to work. She frowned and pointed out that sometimes the big event is actually on Christmas Day, when I have the day off. She began looking upset and asked, "Do you not want to spend time with us?" If she hadn't said that, I probably would have kept the truth to myself. But I couldn't bear the thought of her believing I chose to miss it. So, calmly, I said, "You know how I date guys instead of girls? Grandma and Grandpa don't like that, so they told me not to come to Christmas." That answer clearly upset her. The very next day, she called my parents and demanded to know why they told me I couldn't come. From what I heard, she wasn't gentle about it. Later, my parents called my sister and scolded her for letting her daughter spend too much time with me. My sister confronted me, saying I was selfish for stirring up trouble and dragging my niece into it. I honestly felt bad. I never expected my niece to call them or start an argument. So now I'm wondering, was I wrong? I don't think so. My sister has been too willing to let my parents exclude me without consequences. The idea that I caused a family fight is ridiculous. If she truly cared, she'd have been challenging them all along. I didn't involve my niece in anything. She asked me a question, and I gave her an honest, age-appropriate answer. It's not my job to keep covering for my parents' prejudice. If they can't handle the truth being spoken out loud, that's their issue. Let's be clear, my absence at their Christmas has always been because of their hateful stance. I simply stopped hiding it when my niece deserved the truth. She now understands what's been going on, and I'm not going to apologize for that. For the record, I think my niece has more backbone than my sister. Pretending the problem isn't there might keep the peace for now, but it sets a terrible example for her daughter about standing up to discrimination. I also have 2 children with my wife. She has a son from a previous relationship whose father is not involved, so he's with us full time. I also have a daughter from an earlier relationship. Unfortunately, my ex is very difficult to co-parent with, and I only get my daughter every other weekend plus 1 weekday. I used to coach her sports team to get more time with her, but she's now advanced to a level where having dad as coach isn't the best fit. I'm currently trying to change the custody arrangement so we can spend more time together. She's told me she feels hurt that I see my wife's 2 younger kids and my stepson more often than I see her. I reassure her constantly that she's loved just as much, and if it were up to me, we'd be together far more often. My wife and I would like to take the kids on trips, but my ex has been making that very hard. To take my daughter out of the state, I need permission from both parents, and my ex routinely refuses. I agree with my wife that the other kids shouldn't always have to miss out because of this restriction, but I also don't want them resenting my daughter over it. At the same time, I can't bring myself to go on a vacation without her. I've told my wife she's welcome to travel with the other 3, but I won't join them on trips out of state unless my daughter can come too. I'm fine with in-state travel as a family, but until my daughter turns 18, I'm not comfortable taking trips that exclude her. My wife is upset with me because I won't go on the out-of-state trip, and she doesn't want to take the 3 kids without me. She says I'm being a bad husband and father by refusing to join them. I told her I understood how she felt and suggested we could pay for her mother or another adult to go along if she didn't want to travel alone. We argued, and I told her I was thinking about the emotional well-being of all 4 kids, while she seemed to be focusing only on the 3 who live with us full-time. She shot back that I was being unreasonable for not going and accused me of implying she doesn't love my daughter. I told her that's not what I meant, just that she wasn't considering my daughter's feelings in this situation. So now I'm wondering, am I wrong for refusing to go without my daughter? Some people say yes, because all the kids deserve time with me, and my wife might need my help managing them on a long trip. Others say no, because the real problem is my ex refusing permission and putting my daughter in the middle. I know this isn't a perfect choice, but I'd rather miss out than have my daughter feel excluded. Eventually, I told my wife I'd agree to go on a trip out of state, but only if she helps me explain the situation to my daughter so the responsibility isn't pinned entirely on me. I told my ex that I'd be honest with our daughter about why she wasn't coming, and I made it clear that for every trip we take without her, I'll plan a one-on-one trip with her once she turns 18. I'm tired of her being used like a chess piece in this conflict. I also run a small cafe attached to my hobby shop. For the past year or so, the cafe side has mostly been closed to the public, except for occasional private rentals. My husband and I decided to host a low-key New Year's Eve party there after the shop closed. We invited 3 close friends and their partners, and one friend mentioned bringing a partner we'd only met a few times. About an hour before the party, he called asking if he could also bring a friend of his girlfriend. We'd wanted to keep it small but agreed. When they arrived, that extra guest turned out to be my husband's ex, someone he absolutely cannot stand, and for good reason. She had stolen from him, cheated on him, and abandoned 2 sick cats with him, ignoring all attempts to return them. He ended up paying thousands for their care before rehoming them. As soon as she walked in, my husband froze, then excused himself to the back. I quietly pulled our friend aside, he's fairly new to our circle. And explained who she was. He had no idea. I told him she couldn't stay, and he went to pass along the message. She then marched over to me and, seeing I was wearing the shop's cafe apron, told me that unless I wanted to lose my job, she'd be staying. She claimed to know the owner and could have me fired. I laughed and told her I knew the owner very well, and that the owner thought she was a nightmare, so she needed to leave. My husband came back, opened the door, and gestured for her to go. She left and ended up waiting outside for her Uber in the cold. Her friends were upset, and one said we could have at least let her wait inside. Maybe I would have, if she hadn't immediately threatened me. Finally, I'm a 35-year-old single mother to my teenage son, Liam. I've been dating my boyfriend, Ryan, for 2 years. Liam has never liked Ryan. He usually goes to his room when Ryan visits, and even though Ryan sometimes drives him to school, Liam has never shown much warmth toward him. One day, I asked Liam to explain why. He listed several reasons, including that Ryan had made racially offensive jokes about one of his Asian friends, that he once forgot to give water to Liam's guinea pig while pet-sitting, and that he frequently told him to man up. I told Liam I didn't believe him and confronted Ryan, who denied everything. Because I thought Liam was lying, I took away his gaming consoles and told him he was being unfair to someone who could one day be his stepfather. Liam then told his dad, my ex, who called me furious, saying I was treating our son terribly. Some people think I made a huge mistake by choosing to believe my partner over my child, punishing Liam for speaking up instead of investigating. Others say kids can sometimes exaggerate, but even then, dismissing everything outright wasn't fair. Now I'm left wondering if I damaged my relationship with my son by siding with Ryan without proof.